Okay. Yay, everyone's got their stuff. And ironically, the garage door just went off and Tom's home now. So
Oh,
that's
nice.
actually pretty darn quick. Um, I'm glad you guys all got your stuff. And Deborah, thanks for stopping by earlier this morning. We would have made sure you had it. But some prep work that you can do while we're sitting here waiting is pre-stamping some of these fun shapes that are in the stamp set that we're using called homemade treats, which is this one right here. Some of you guys may have ordered the bundle, so you can choose to use the die cuts if you want for cutting some of this out. And so that's the reason why we've kept some space. I've just been fussy cutting, and ironically, and I'll mention this again here in a bit, it's actually World Fussy Cutting Day. So feel free to pull out the scissors, do some fussy cutting. I'm probably going to see if anyone is okay with me taking pictures and you holding up your scissors and cutting some of this stuff before you get carried away. But start stamping by all means, and then we're going to cut that out. The only thing I'm going to note is that our icing bag, we're actually wanting the light portion, so you're going to stamp once and then stamp off. But I'll probably mention that again just as the others join us. But for those of you who are here and you want to start getting a head start, you can do those pieces. The other thing that's going to be optional is a tag punch. So one of our cards has a little pull on it. On my sample, I have a straight cut, but if you have one of those that has the hole punch and all, that is fine. Or if you have this tag punch, this is uh, the slit punch that I'm going to use. Now, I didn't add those in the instructions. You can just use a handhold punch. That works too. So when we get to that card, which we'll leave to the end because that one seemed to be very difficult today in person. It's a lot of pieces, but we'll kind of get to that. And I will kind of show the cards again. Oh, it's not Tom that's home. Sorry, I lied. It's Kira. Okay, that didn't make sense if if he was at Charlene's and already home.
Yeah.
Having Seeing that it's Kira, that makes a little more sense. And I'm gonna actually spotlight myself right now because I found that I ended up recording yesterday's session and totally forgetting to spotlight. So get that in there. Mm. Just pile all the things. Yeah, I don't know why I really wanted to do this one with white. So the color combo was crumb cake, real red, but white. Therefore, white embossing. But you guys are all avid crafters, so I'm pretty sure you have some white embossing powder and all the things. What were you? I know what Deborah was up to today. What were you? Was the games all good, Deborah?
Yeah, they were. They ended up losing, but they had a good game, so that was
Oh,
good. And when I got home, I was looking through my stash of stuff that I've gotten from Stampin' Up, and guess which stamps that I didn't have that's not here yet?
oh no.
One of my boxes has been lost, and that's one of them, and that was the one that was in. And I hadn't
Oh,
checked earlier, so I will just kind of watch and do it later.
well, I can also see if Kira or if Tom can go back on another road trip and take you a stamp set. I have an extra one here, and then you can just give me yours after.
I didn't know, that's fine. I'll just do it later. No biggie.
Okay.
Time he gets out here, it's dark and he'll never find it. So I'll do it later.
Okay. Well, at least you can hear all the tips and tricks and
Yeah, exactly.
all the little mishaps because I was, being adventurous and I did a fun fold and it just proved to be a little bit difficult.
Oh, is that right? Oh, geez. Yeah,
Yeah.
then I will watch it.
Yeah. So, but you know what, now that I got it through, like did the difficultiness of it earlier, I think we should be okay here.
Oh, okay.
The key is though, is like when you do get to start, there is a piece of white cardstock, stamping all the pieces, deciding whether or not you're going to use your die cut so that you can leave enough space just to get the die in there.
Yeah, I didn't get the die, just got the stamp set,
Oh,
so
okay. Okay.
I will cut them.
Sounds good. Okay, just check my phone, see where they are. So I'm sad to hear that you're missing boxes too, because I've been part of some demonstrator groups and a lot of them are not getting their boxes. And unfortunately,
Yeah,
like
the one I ordered after came, no problem. It was here within a week. And the other one, they don't know where it got to. It's sorry, got held up first in customs and then it kind of lost it after that. So
okay, yeah, okay. So it's probably a customs thing.
yeah, and I didn't know that was the one that the stamp set is because I wasn't organized enough and didn't get down here.
Yeah, no problem.
Been a
Oh,
little busy with kids.
yeah, they definitely are keeping you busy.
Yeah,
And then I'm
especially
surprised, like,
the days when I have four of them, that they keep me busy.
sometimes you have
Yeah.
them all at once.
Yeah, so I have four of them quite often.
Oh my gosh, that's
So it gets to be a busy day when they're here. And I couldn't find my desk here because Hadley's been stamping some stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, what a mess.
mm.
Trying to get organized here.
One of the other things, actually, you guys, that I discovered too, is I did not cut one of the pieces for you that we need a slot in, which isn't the end of the world. We're gonna do that online tonight, and I can get you to use your paper trimmer. But what I found easy is if you have the textured note dies, I use this stitch rank rectangle. So if you have that, that might make your life a little bit easier, or something, or some sort of cutout that, or a punch that's that wide. It's the width that I'm worried about, not so much the length or not the width, more the width, not the height. There we go. And this is approximately 2¼ inches. It just needs to be more than two, but we'll walk through that. So if you don't have textured notes, that's okay. But if you do, that's an added bonus. Okay. There's something else that I needed for adhesives. It's your standard adhesives, but for sure, I'm gonna reference tear and tape and glue dots, as well as dimensionals, and then your standard seal or whatever you use for your card bases. And don't forget your stamp cleaner or microfiber cloth. I got my wet one here. And inside your kit, you should have all the pre-cut pieces. There should be 2 envelopes per card. And we are going, well, we'll go through those card pieces afterwards once we get everything else stamped. I hope you guys like your cute little gift. It is a little bottle of chopped up peppermint. So with the holiday season coming upon us, you can bake some cookies, sprinkle a few in, maybe tap some into some of your hot chocolate or on some other desserts that you might have on the go. I just thought it was a little festive and it kind of went with the whole theme. And of course, I had to use from the kitchen of because we hadn't actually stamped, or I didn't think we had stamped with it. So I wanted to make sure I used it, only to go back and find that I forgot I did stamp with it. Now, we're just going to continue because I'm not too sure, like, oh, yep, they're joining the group, so they must be looking for the Zoom link now. What else? While we're waiting, actually, maybe I'll show you some of the samples that I made using this set. I wanted to get inspired to do some variations, and someone's kind of hinting that this might have to be the next card club, but we'll see. Well, it probably will be craft club. Apparently, I am doing craft club next month. So here's the scrapbook page. And some other little sample cards. We've got just a little fun fold at the front. I don't think I did anything on the inside of this one, but just kind of a technique that we used with another set a few years ago. And then some more pink and green baking. I just thought that that was a little fun to do a little different, not the red, but pink, just to make it a little cutesy and fun. And then we have this little gift card holder. Just as some alternate ways of kind of using up the stamps and use for gift giving or Christmas with the holiday season coming upon us. And of course, I think we'll have to make some cute tags that we can add to little boxes of baking and stuff. I'm sure some of you are going to do some holiday treats, and then you'll have this to make some cute tags and other things. But
So those are the projects that's going to be for the craft club?
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I thought I would do this, and then it's so because there's no stamp sets or stickers, we've got the stamp set, but we're going to use, it'll come with a package of the Christmas tags and more paper for us to kind of use on all our projects, and plus something else. I just haven't quite figured out yet what that'll all look like, but then this way you have a lot of the supplies. I never even thought of it. It was Sue was like, you know what, let's do this. Like, okay. Because the request has come in to do it for another 6 months. So we will. Okay. Well, haven't heard anyone ding in. Oh, it's because they're waiting for me to approve them. Yeah, I was very behind, very behind this month. Not just this month, since summertime. Summer has messed me up beyond belief, but I feel like we're making progress. Hello, Lorette.
Finally.
I didn't realize like I had invited, but then I sent reminders, but then you were blocked in there until I approved you. So sorry.
Oh. It's all good.
Oh. Someone just posted a picture at the airport for arrivals and there's like nothing happening. Dead. The escalators are all stopped. I guess no one else is coming into our airport. Oh, okay. Anyway, so Lorette, what we're doing, I know you finally got all your stuff there, but these are the supplies that we're going to be using. We've got Real Red and Crumb Cake. Those are the two inks.
Okay.
And then, oh, you know what the ink I don't have here is the Whisper White for embossing. Or Versamark.
Okay.
Celebrating our win on FanDuel Casino.
To me, in one word, I would choose success because I succeeded using it. I tried to quit smoking over 10 to 15 times, and then I stumbled across Sonic. I gave that a whirl and using them ever since. My wife looks at me and like, I didn't do anything, and I'm a superstar for quitting smoking. It's a problem.
Who's that talking? Deborah, is that in your basement?
Nope.
Lorette, do you have the TV on?
Yeah, I'm just going to turn it down. Sorry, I was
I was like,
watching
is
the
that
work.
your son talking?
No, I was watching the World Series.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, keep that on. We need to know what's happening.
Can you still hear it? No?
Not as much, no.
Okay, I'll just turn it right down.
Hey, Lorette, what is it that Amber does? Where does she work? Does she go by Amber or Amber Lee in the workplace?
Amberly.
Oh,
Oh,
she,
I know. I think Amber.
what's her last name?
Lowy.
Oh, is that what she? Okay. It's not her. I saw a lady, her name was Amber Cook, and she looked so familiar. And I was like, I wonder if that's your Amber.
No, no, she's at home with two little babies.
Oh, okay. That wouldn't be her then.
No.
Yeah, I guess I forgot to put out the white pad because we're going to need the white for embossing. People who are catching the replay, you'll know you'll be able to speed forward once I show kind of all the three cards, once I move the supplies out of the way. Just wanted to give everyone a chance to pull the supplies and kind of see what we have. Most of like all the things are cut and like die cut for you, with the exception of the one oopsie that I forgot. So we'll walk through that as we go to make that card.
I'll do what I can without the stamps, but I can
Yeah.
glue some of it
Oh,
probably.
yeah, that's perfect, Deborah. Okay, so just trying to get all my kits out. We're actually going to do the one with all the crumb cake pieces last. So that'll be the last one. And then the one that has the candy peppermints that are probably sticking out, that's going to be the second card. And so therefore that leaves the one with the crumb cake card base, the next card. Oh, so this is the one we're going to do first. And see, whenever I think we have all the supplies, I don't. So I'm going to have to go back and edit that list. I used an embossing folder. So if you have an embossing folder that would be good for behind this card, pull it out. You don't have to have an embossing folder. I just like that shabbiness and the white of it. For this particular one, I use it's the plaid folder. Just trying to see where I tucked it. Yeah, it's called Forever Plaid. So if you have this one, um, you can use that. Or like I said, you don't have to, it's entirely up to you. But for this first card, we are going to be running the two-tone paper with the light side facing up. And at least the Facebook group is open, like it's created now. So when this video is done, I'll work on getting it uploaded. I'll try and do that tonight, actually, or first thing tomorrow morning. I still have another one to upload as well. But then we'll be able to go back in here, and anything that I make or creations, I'll make sure to add them for inspiration into this Facebook group so that you guys can refer back to it. I'm starting to code all these classes to put Trisha's in front of it. That way, if in the future you're using your search bar in Facebook, if you just start typing in Trisha, then all of the classes that you have attached to it should come up easily for you to find if you need to go back and kind of watch a video or do pieces like that. And I'll try and update the past groups to see if it makes sense. Again, I'm just trying to find ways to make it easier for us to find some things. I know I'm getting so many groups and it's hard, but I'm also enjoying going back, looking at some of them that I was part of like back in 2017, 18, as a reminder, you know, that I took some of those classes and that I can maybe go back and learn a few things. Okay, are you guys ready to stamp? Well, make cards, I guess I should say.
Hey,
And I'll just, because oh, you know what? We're still waiting for Sabrina. Although we're already half hour in. I know some of it is because I was late getting your guys' stuff in, but I'll just go and honestly catch up. I'm in no hurry to hang up tonight, so I'm happy to stay on for anyone who might need to want to just stay and like ask questions and get things done. But I'll just get you guys working and you can either get caught up or finish your stamping. But basically, we know the real red, crumb cake, and whisper white is what we're going to be doing. And I'm going to make a card with you as we go, and that'll kind of keep to pace to help with some of that. So again, we're just stamping. This is just an idea of how you can lay it all out to get all the pieces in. Pardon me. We are making 2 of each card. And I don't think I had to add any more in of these afterwards. There are going to be a few of these pieces we don't end up using, such as the piping bag. We're not going to use the dark ones. We're only using the light ones. So you can always save those for another project. Now they're already stamped for you. And then from the kitchen of, I'm not using the red. I was originally going to, but then I changed my mind and wanted to use it in crumb cake. So you also have some of these already printed as well. When we go through and do our cards, I'm gonna get you guys just to fussy cut out the images, not the words. We'll do the words as things come about, but for now we just want to do the different pieces. Again, if you have the dies, feel free to use your cut and emboss machine to do them. I'm just going to sit here and chat with you guys and cut them out.
are we stamping those now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all of those things?
All
Okay.
of these things. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe to even slow myself down even more, I will stamp out a set. And actually, for those of you who maybe don't have the stamp set yet, you could also take a look in your craft stash for other baking ones that might coordinate with this, because I think we've had some in the past that do. And not that you're going to use it, but I mean, while we're stamping, you could stamp out some other things that you might have a use for this holiday season, and then they're already stamped and cut. I'm thinking if any of you are part of the Advent calendar, or yeah, the Advent calendar group, this could be a good time to stamp, cut, save some time. So yes, I guess we should put these all on blocks. So homemade treats. It has some really cute sayings, but of course your other Christmas greetings will go with it. And I'm gonna find the best blocks for some of these. I have a lot of blocks, so I can block them all. You guys might have to, utilize some of your blocks multiple times, and that's okay. But I'm gonna put each of the greetings on a block because I know I'm gonna use both of those. We're also gonna be using the sugar cookie cutouts. We're gonna be using the piping bag, the oven mitt, not mitts, and then the rolling pin. It's probably because of all the classes, but I think I at one time had 3 sets of all of the acrylic blocks. Do any of you guys have lots of blocks? Do you have enough for each of these?
I don't think I do.
Yeah, and that's okay. You can share them. Make sure you have your cleaner ready too. We are actually using every single stamp. It's not too often we use every single stamp for a class, but for this one we are. Oh, I'm one short. Yeah, look at that, an empty case. Hey. And I'm gonna open my inks. I also just re-inked my stamps. I don't know if maybe you guys might want to try and put a little bit of re-inker beforehand in your red or your crumb cake just to make sure it's nice and fresh. And remember, we're just tap, tap, tapping, not squish, squish, squishing. If you don't have to switch out the blocks, or if you do have to switch out the blocks, it is the larger images that we're only using once. So for instance, the rolling pin. Oh, say hi to Tom. Tom's here now. Thank you, Tom. Well, let's
Thank
see.
you, Tom.
Yeah, there's
Hi.
Lorette, there's Deborah, and there's Charlene.
I don't see Charlene.
Well, she's
I'm
hiding.
off screen, sorry.
Not
Hi.
Thank you. He stopped and got me a cheeseburger. So if I start talking with my mouth full, you know why. Oh, and then my piping, my piping bag. So fun fact, you guys, Kira's all excited. They offered her a new position at the shop and she's now going to be a cupcake and cake decorator.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, she's so excited. So excited. She wants to get out of the front end retail of it. She's like, I just want to hide in the back. Oh, shoot. Now I just did something wrong, you guys. So when you guys go to stamp this, stamp it straight, not crooked like I just did. Pretend you don't see that. And you're going to stamp once and then you're going to stamp off because I want the lighter image, not the darker one. So I need to find another piece of scrap paper. And it's okay about the space. Maybe what I'll do, since I did that one on an angle, I'm doing this one on an angle so that I have room to put a gingerbread man or something in between. Pardon me. But I do want two of them. So there we go. Now the piping bag, again, I'm not using that one again either, so that can go back just to help save up some space and free up a block. And these ones I don't need anymore. The rolling pin either. Although see, because it wasn't red, I didn't think it needed to be cleaned. Whoops. It had ink on it too. Okay. And then some crumb cake for our gingerbread man, except I didn't leave enough space. But I seem to have lots of space here, so we're just gonna fill them in. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It was only about spacing in case you wanted to use your dies, but otherwise, as long as you can cut them out, that's all that you really need to worry about. Okay. And then our word. So it's beginning to taste like Christmas is the word that we're using in red. And that's what's going underneath our my piece that I cut must be bigger than the one I did my sample on. So no wonder today everyone's like, "Oh, I got tons of room." I couldn't understand it, but that's why. I guess mine is smaller. This sample is smaller than a half a piece of paper. Okay. So also that big one, once I have those two words stamped, I'm not using that again, so I can put that one away. And from the kitchen of, once I stamp them on here, I don't need them anymore either. It's just all the little guys and the sugar cookie dough that we're going to be using. I'm just so not used to silence, but I have to practice that I don't have to talk all the time. And I say this as I sat here last night. No, the night before, Kira was on the phone with a friend from Calgary and they were coloring together. They each had their coloring books out and their markers, but they didn't say a word to each other. It was an hour and a half of silence. I just thought that was the weirdest thing in the world.
That's different.
Yeah. But I mean, it's no different than us sitting here, but it just we're so used to conversing when you're sitting around people,
Yeah.
you know? Hmm. Has anyone started their Christmas baking yet?
No.
Did anyone check their lottery tickets? Someone from Alberta won last Wednesday.
Oh, didn't know. I haven't bought a ticket for a while, so wouldn't
It
be
wasn't
me.
you.
Nope.
Okay. Now, if you are using your dies for this, I just note that when I stamped and then die cut, it was the next day after I did my stamping, and yet red dye from the ink got all over my cutting plate. So I just share that in advance in case you're like freaking out, especially if you're just stamping tonight and it's a lot like your ink pad's really inky. You might want to just use your heat tool on it to dry it off a little bit before putting it through your cut and emboss machine, just to avoid any smudges. Just because this collection isn't a shabby collection, so there's no, ink smudges, marks. We are trying to keep this clean. So you might also want to have just a little wet cloth by you for your fingers, as we get messy and using the ink on other things. So just something to keep in mind. I think most of you are in your craft space, so you have all the things close by. And so I didn't hear any of you say that you started baking, but what's the one baked item that like you can't wait to start making because you or someone in your family loves it so much?
They like it all. There's not one specific one.
So which will be the first one you start making?
Probably the
Mine
sugar.
cupcakes. No, not that.
No, Probably the sugar cookies.
Oh, yes. I have full intention to try and make some. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, Stampin' Up sold a cookie press with little silicone things that had the Stampin' Up logo and some other cute things. My mom, they were actually, I was going to say sugar cookie, but no, they were actually it was a shortbread recipe. I am going to pull out and I'm actually going to try and bake those this year.
Mm.
Kira told me that she's going to get to also make the gingerbread army. So I'm sure we'll find some gingerbread men, well, in sugar cookie dough though, because I'm not a gingerbread person. But
There's a lot of people like that, just like there's a lot of people that are not pumpkin people.
yeah, exactly. They're usually the same people.
Yeah, I guess it must be the spice
Yeah.
in there or the texture of the pumpkin. I don't know.
Hey, but on a positive note, you guys see that that exit is open now?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Have any of you guys driven it yet?
No.
no, not me.
Yeah.
Today wouldn't have been the day to do it.
No,
Reading on
exactly.
Rant and Rave, it was nuts.
Really?
That's what they were saying.
Hmm. Well, just because everyone wanted to test it, or no one knew
Well,
what to do when they got on it.
well, yeah, because there was a couple of new roundabouts or something they were saying,
Mm-hmm.
and some people don't know how to use those.
A lot of people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to take pictures of you guys fussy cutting. Is anyone willing to be brave to hold up their scissors and their piece of paper? No one's brave.
Sure.
I use the die cut, but I can pretend.
Okay.
I wish I had the die
Wait
cuts.
a sec. I have to like replace the spotlight and take a picture. Okay, I'm ready. Awesome. Thanks, Charlene.
No problem.
You got your scissors and your paper. Have you started cutting yet, Laurette?
Yep.
Can do you mind?
No,
Okay,
but I
cool.
can't. I don't know why I've got your pictures across the bottom of my screen.
Oh, no, you're fine. No, no, no. I've spotlighted you. That's why you see you. So
Yeah.
hold your paper and your scissors up and smile. Oh, just like I have to do it again. I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. Yay. Awesome. Thank you.
Eh,
Do you want to pretend that you're cutting something, Deborah? Oh, you are cutting something. It's just not Christmas. I love it. You're on mute. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just cutting a couple of those little ones out.
Yeah, that's good. Good, 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 good. Okay. Well, these all are super cute. There's another gingerbread man one that Stampin' Up has out right now. I didn't buy it, but did any of you guys get that other set?
Not me.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, to me this was the cuter one, and I really like the writing in this one. Probably because it looked like piping bag, but
Trisha, are you getting more of those little calendars for
yes, I have them.
26?
Yeah, why?
Oh,
You want more?
yeah.
Yeah, I do have a lot. I'm gonna gift them. They're gonna be part of the Secret Stamper packages again.
Oh,
So I
okay.
hope I got enough for that. So I think you'll have enough, depending on how many you need, but I think you'll have enough with that. But if not, let me know because I ordered a bunch. Connie, Connie the cookie lady that we used to have, her sister owns an online store out of Calgary. So I try and
Oh,
support her business where I can, and so she shipped me a whole bunch not too long
okay.
ago. Yeah.
Because I have some 25 ones, or I had some 25 ones, but
Oh no, but you got some from Cheryl this year. Do I still have them and I just didn't give them to you yet?
well, I don't know.
No, yeah, you know what? That could be because I just moved the bag. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had these. And I bet
Yeah,
you
because
yours
I
are in
only
there.
have, I looked today and I only have 25. Huh. Oh,
Yeah, this
well.
is 25 was from this year. Yeah, you're looking for the 26 ones. Yeah, I bet you I still have them. Anyways, I can't get the bag out, but Cheryl did get you some, and so if I haven't given you them yet, they're here. You already have some. You
Okay.
bought some off her.
Oh,
I have to go through the different dates though and make sure I get them out to you guys for the various things. You guys are all part of the Twist and Dabs. We'll have a year-end wrap up. We'll do a year-end one. I really liked whatever we did in January so that I didn't feel like I had to do Christmas stuff. So I don't know. We'll figure out those dates and get them out soon.
yeah,
And
because when
then,
Christmas is over,
yeah,
it's over.
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably just try and do a get together in January. And then Secret Stamper. Kind of want to do that beforehand to give names out before January if we do it again. Um, so I don't know. Got to figure that out. And then the next Christmas Stamp a Stack, that is going to be the weekend at the 23rd of November. I'm
Oh,
just trying.
I'm not gonna be here.
Oh, where are you off to?
Well, my son and daughter-in-law are going to Las Vegas and they
Nice.
asked me to come. They think it would be it'd be a great idea. So I'm going to see. They're talking about renting me a cart
Do
because
they
I'm not.
know that the Formula One race is on at that time?
Oh, really?
That
Oh, no. Well, it's her
would be an
birth.
experience for you.
Pardon?
That would be an experience for you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how it's even going to go because she told me that in the hotel where we're staying, I guess it's the Cosmopolitan,
Mm-hmm.
there is a Target store in that hotel.
In the hotel?
In
She
the
knows
hotel.
you.
That's what she told me. She said, so if you're having trouble walking or whatever, if you just don't want to, go doing the strip, one day you can just stay there in the hotel and shop.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even just the weather might be better for you too.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Wendy just came back from there and she said it was supposed to be 18 or 19 yesterday and it ended up being 28 degrees.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been there since 2018. So,
Oh, so you're looking forward to it.
yeah.
You should have, yeah. I'll be there for backstage, but it's at the beginning of the month. So sadly, I'm
Oh,
gonna miss Formula One, but apparently they're already starting to set it up. So
I don't think my son knows that.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Or
Because it's her, huh?
maybe he does. Maybe that's why they're going. They're just not saying.
Well, no, he's been going through a lot of stuff with hip replacements and knee replacements and everything. So
Oh,
he's been stuck in the house for a couple of years.
oh,
So he decided, or Danita, his wife decided she's gonna, she said, I'll buy you a trip anywhere you want to go. She said, because you need to get out and all this stuff. And so that's where he picked. And it's
oh,
also the day we leave is her birthday.
oh, wow.
So,
Oh, that's nice of them.
yeah,
Yeah, that'll be fun. Hey guys, sorry, I'm just trying to find my card kit. Here it is. Okay, so this is the one that you're going to use an embossing folder for with your real red pieces. So you should have 2 of these pieces. And again, you're going to emboss so that you have the raised image up on the Stampin' Up logo, right? So the Stampin' Up logo is here, so therefore the light side of the paper is face up. I'm just going to go run that through my emboss folder. I'm not going to show you here. Again, it's optional. You don't have to do it. But if you do it, you might also want your sanding block. I forgot to put that in the supply list to do some sanding. But again, it's optional, but it does end up looking really, really cool in the background. Here's the one that I've already put together this morning. But I'll walk you through how to make it look like that once I give this a run through the shop. And you guys have 2 of those to do, remember. I'm only doing 1, but you guys have 2. And even if you don't have the Forever Plaid, you could use any of them that we have. What are some other ones? Oh, I don't know. We've had some fun distressed backgrounds. It's a standard size. You could even use brick. We've had the brick and mortar. I think that would look nice. Anything will go. I found these old Stampin' Up standing blocks that I had.
I have some of those. Is that
Yeah.
that green, the green one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some of those
And each
too.
side is like a different grade of sanding. But all you're going to do is take your sanding block or sanding paper and just drag it towards you. And then I'm just basically turning this in a circle, giving it a little rub. I'm basically going 360 all the way around. But I'm also going to do the edges. I like to do my edges on a piece of like the chipboard that usually comes as a backing to our Stampin' Up products. Then that way I can just kind of scrape the sides. Now I don't have, except the only thing is that it does take up the dye. So I don't know if you can see that I have all the red sanding paper powder from my paper. So you might not want, like, if you have a good one that you like to use, you might not want to use it on the red just because it does dye it, but I'm like, it all has to get used. And then to wear it even more, at this point, after you have it all sanded and you're ready to mount it, you can go ahead and mount it to the front of your cardstock, which is your crumb cake. I just ran out of crumb cake, so I don't have any to fold to show you. I have to place an order tonight. But you're just going to mount that. And once you have it mounted, if you want it even more distressed, you can go ahead and take your finger and just kind of like scrape it along the sides. It's going to tear some of those places where those lines are, but it'll just give it more of a distressed look. Not everyone likes that torn, worn look, and that's okay. You don't have to do it. You could just leave it as it was, just so that you have some of that white pop that'll pick up on the white embossing powder that we end up doing. And then I'm also going to just kind of curl and bend two of the corners. So I'm just picking whichever two, but I'm doing them across from each other. So I'm picking one corner and then I'm going to go across to the other corner and just kind of wear down that paper fiber in my fingers. I'm just rolling it around is what I'm doing. And then I can kind of just bend it
Hmm.
and tear it like that. Yeah, even my fingers are all red just from the paper. I'll let you guys get caught up on those since I only did one.
Or if I'm going to use this stamp set a lot, I definitely have to get the dies.
Yeah, I think so. They're actually really, it's a really good set because if the little tiny pieces, they have multiple dies for, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got two of the hat or two of the these guys, two of the candy canes. There's also two of the hats, but I lost one somewhere. It's stuck to something and I forget where. I saw it somewhere, but I forgot to grab it. But I don't remember where it is. There's 11 pieces in here. But it's also more so because you want the cookie sheet. That
Oh,
we don't.
yeah, right. Yeah.
So when you go back in, use your credits for it because I'm sure after your last order you have some credits. And for some of you who might be already done that part, you can go ahead and stamp "It's beginning to taste like Christmas." Oh, except I told you to put that one away. Sorry, you do need that one. And so you're just going to stamp. You're going to just stamp that with your basic white. You're going to stamp on the light color as well. We're using all the light. It's not the end of the world, though, if you end up stamping on the dark side. And this is where you use your white ink and your embossing powder. But I'll just wait a little bit before I do my steps. And then also we have the crumb cake piece where we're going to randomly stamp and emboss all the little pieces. So we've got the hat, the gingerbread, the candy cane, and then the sprinkles. And it's just a random scatter of all of those things stamped in white and using your embossing powder and heating it to get that fun fetty look. And for that, I'm using the light side of the paper. I'm also going to get some ribbon ready too. When you are. So you guys all have a roll of ribbon that we're going to be using on the projects. I think all of them use the ribbon. And I want to wrap this around and have enough excess left over that I can tie a bow with. So it's approximately 18 inches. And then I'm going to cut that off and I'm going to cut that in half. And then that way you've got a piece for both projects. Okay. I'm going to just start my embossing. Again, I'm using white embossing powder. I have it all pre-poured in one of my little containers, just because it makes it a little easier for me to use. I also re-inked my white ink. So if you have a white ink pad, you might want to re-ink it just to make sure it's got good ink to take the embossing powder on top. I'm just pressing to make sure there's firm coverage on that, lifting it, and then sprinkling it. So I kind of want to do it right away, although this is craft ink and it does take a little bit longer to dry. I still want to get that embossing powder on it, just to prevent if there's any light areas that do dry faster than the other. And then I can set this aside and then I can emboss it at the same time I'm doing all the other pieces. I'm also just trying to brush off all the excess pieces of embossing powder crystals that got stuck. And I'm just going to give that a clean when I'm done. And then this is where I'm going to continue with my embossing on the light side of the crumb cake. And I'm just going to randomly stamp all the little pieces. I start with the gingerbread man because he's nice and big. I'm starting kind of in the corner, not exactly. But you have to be careful not to get too much ink like pushed in the crevices everywhere because he has little eyes and a happy face and hearts, and we want to be able to see those once the embossing shines through. If we get too much ink on that, then it might kind of mud itself and you won't really see some of those fine details. So just make sure as you're using your ink, you're just tap, tap, tapping, not squish, squish, squishing. So tap, tap, tap. And if you can see, I'm kind of spreading them apart a little bit, and I'm doing a few at a time before I put embossing powder, just so that it kind of um, gives it that fun pattern look, but it spreads them out a bit. And then this way, again, my ink doesn't dry too fast. I may have put those too close together. Try and do more as my sample is with them spread apart a little bit more. Because I want to add some hats and some candy canes. So basically I'm just filling kind of those gaps where I think they should be. There doesn't have to be a lot of them, but definitely some of them. And as I stamp each image, then I'm going over with the powder just so that it's covered and I don't accidentally touch it. I'm just going to keep going through like this. Now again, remember, I'm only stamping one, so I'll pause after this just to make sure you guys can get caught up. And then once you're happy with how many of those big little cookies, that's what we'll call them, sugar cookies, with those shapes, then you can stop filling those in and then proceed with adding some confetti. Now, I was advised this morning that there is a wrong and right way to the confetti, that the trees should be up. Now, of course, that's only a preference. but you're going to scatter that throughout your card as well, just to add some little splashes of fun where it might be needed to fill those gaps a little bit. Now we're covering a lot of that up anyways, but it's just for that cuteness for those areas that are exposed. And then once you're happy with that coverage, you can do all your magic heat embossing. And I believe, oh no, we will be using the white embossing for one more for the card, the next card that we do. So you don't want to put that too far away. Now, something that I've noticed with the two-tone paper is that it does kind of brown easily. So meaning that I think it's going to burn, but it also fades away. So just watch that you're not overheating one spot when you go to heat the label or even the crumb cake side, just because we don't want to burn our paper. And I did one label, and now I'm going to go ahead and do my other card front piece. Now I've got this fun little clamp that I'm using just so I melt my fingernails. But I need to make sure that it doesn't clip on some of my heat emboss powder images, because until it's heated, it's still very vulnerable. Like you can smush it, smudge the powder off as soon as you touch it. And then that half piece of ribbon that I cut, I'm actually just wrapping that around my crumb cake and tying a bow. Now, of course, you'll just want to make sure that's all kind of dry from the embossing. Once you're happy with how that looks, you're just going to tie a bow. Now, remember to pay attention to which way your bows tie. So if you're like me and they're always upside down, then I turn my project upside down and tie the bow, and then that way it'll be right side up. But you probably have better bow tying skills than me, so you can do it face up. But however that looks, then you're just going to play a maneuver with the bow to make it the best looking bow. Except look at, I ended up tying it and it was like perfect in my direction. So maybe I no longer need to turn these upside down. I don't know. I have all my life, but today it seems like they always turn out right. Bizarre. And then once I'm happy, I'll snip it, but I'll snip it once I get it on my card base. I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensionals to pop that up on the back of my card front. But you can mount that already to your card front, and then this part can come after. Again, remember, I just don't have the card base. I ran out of crumb cake. Crumb cake, and there was another color. Here's my basic white. I've run out of some paper. I guess I've been using it more than I thought. Should be using my pokey tool. And then I'm just gonna layer that on top of there. And once that's all good to go, I can just snip that how I want it. I'm okay with some of the ribbon flaring in different directions, because then I'm gonna take my label, I'm going to put dimensionals on it as well, but I am going to take care in where I put those dimensionals. I want those on the sides. So I don't want those up and down. I want them on the side so that they go over top of the ribbon. That we have here. And so therefore it looks something like this. Now, because this might be a little too low, you can just like tap that through. Because we didn't actually put the dimensionals on the ribbon, I was still able to tug that to move it around. And then you just position it how you like that and mount that to the front of your card. And that card is done. Now, a little extra flair that I added to the inside of my card is I took the sprinkles and I stamped them in crumb cake. And I just did the corner with a little bit of it, just to add a little bit of spice. So if you want to do that, you can. It's entirely up to you. You might want to go back later to add some other greetings in. You might go back to your Christmas dash to see what other fun words fit nicely. Pardon me. That's the only thing I wished happened, was that this set also had a couple of inside sayings, but I guess that's where we're going to have to look for some sweet sayings from some other things. So this one doesn't have any cutouts on it. We just stamped all the images. We got to stamp, emboss, do a little distressing, and play with some ribbon. Put something over here. What's the score in the baseball game, Lorette?
It's 3-1 for LA.
Oh no.
And
They're
it's
mad.
it's the eighth end.
Oh my. Yeah, I guess they're on a comeback. They didn't like that grand slammer. You guys can let me know when you're good to move on. I'm sure there's still lots to get caught up on. I'm not rushing you. I don't want to start though until you guys are ready. I feel like we need some music, but it's too early for Christmas music. I'm gonna get caught up on a card from earlier today.
Oh, did you cut the ribbon in half, Trisha?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So yeah. Cut a piece of ribbon that's about 18 inches, and then you're gonna slice it in half lengthwise so that it's nice and thin, and then you'll have both of those for the two cards. Yeah, that two-tone paper burns really easily. So just try and be careful not to be on it too much. Mm, mm.
Trisha, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Just, I was just trying to go through the, to get, put the plaid through the, what you call it?
Yeah.
And I pulled too hard. Plus I wrecked the thing. Like
Oh,
it's
you're not
all,
having fun. Oh no.
yeah. So I don't know.
Well, it's just bent. It's fine. It'll bend itself out while you do that.
Well,
Remember, just to make sure with that 3D plaid one, you're only using the thick plate, not the extra thin layer that goes on the base plate, and just the gray plate over top. So I'll demo that because it'll be for other people too watching.
oh,
So and it's different depending on the sizes of folders. And so for the cut and emboss machine, for the embossing folder, if you're using a 3D, you're not using this little thin wafer. You're going to take that off and just have this, your, your,
I don't have that one. I still have the old one.
no, but it should still work. But this is like, it had a gray plate as well. And so it should
I
just
just,
be the three pieces. So your folder, the base, and then
well, I had this and this,
yeah.
and then on the base part of it.
Yeah. So you don't need one of those folders. You need the gray. Do you have the gray one?
No, I have the old Big Shot.
Yeah, but it had an embossing plate with it too.
Oh,
And that's okay. It's just that I think what it is those the two clear ones were too thick.
I
So
know
you
I couldn't use the two, so
yeah.
I just used one, but
Yeah, one should have worked.
it didn't.
And like, was it too thin or was it
Just
too
about
thick?
killed me. I couldn't
Oh.
even get it all the way through.
Oh, well then maybe you don't need it. Maybe you don't need any of those plates. Maybe you just need the embossing folder in the bottom plate.
I don't know. I'm just gonna sit for a minute.
Yeah. You rest. And that's fine. Like if you step out, we know why. That's all good. You can always catch up later.
Or this is being recorded, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. No, but that was a good reminder because everyone's got different cut and emboss machines. And so it's just a matter of playing with the thickness of it. If you're finding it's not going, remove a layer. Sometimes it works if you just use a chipboard. Sometimes that can be a filler if you're needing
Oh
to get
yeah.
the thickness.
Okay.
Yeah. There's ways to play with it, but if it feels like you can't do it, then don't because something's not working. Don't crank yourself.
Yeah.
But then that's just to get that effect. And again, you don't have to have It just looks kind of cool with the extra
Yeah,
texture behind it, but it's not necessary.
yeah, it does. Now it's 4-1 for LA.
Oh no.
That's not good. Well, they were down last night and then they got that grand slam, so
Yeah, you just never know, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, now I'll just put the next card here so you guys can see. Even if like you did the embossing pieces, I think that would help. Should show the labels that I used for this. This is from that traditional label set that has all the different, these are the labels that I used for any of the die cuts. And I think it was part of that whole product suite with the traditions of Christmas.
Wish the paper would come back.
Oh, it's still out of stock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone's been wishing for that.
I think I have some of it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I still
Yeah.
have some too. But I do want another pack so we can do stuff with it. Now, of the note, the other thing that was really popular, oh, and I forgot to tell some people this afternoon, is the Christmas kit that has the truck. I think it's called The Road to Christmas. Do you know what I'm talking about? The farm truck?
Mhm.
Anyways, it's out of stock, but I've got a special prize for bingo this month with that particular card kit for those who
Nice.
might be wishing that they had it.
Bingo's still the 22nd.
Let me look in my book. That sounds right. Yes, that's at nighttime on the 22nd because Christmas Stampa Stack is going to be in the afternoon and on the Sunday.
Yeah. So I won't be going to that one.
That's okay. And if you want, you can always order a kit to go
But yeah, I might do that. Yeah.
because we're using the color combo for that is Real Red. We're going to be using Real Red, Seafoam Green, and Garden Green.
Mm.
Those are going to be the traditional colors for next card class.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then featuring that paper pack. It's out of stock right now too, so I'm hoping it'll be back in time for that. There looks like to be a big order coming in like the week of the 14th of November. So hopefully. The next card we're gonna do is we're gonna do the one that has the white card base. So if you're ready for that one. And then I'm just trying to find my white card base one. Yeah. So you should have your white card base. You'll have your little silver cookie sheets. You also got an assortment of little peppermint pieces. And then you'll have a two-tone red base. And then you'll have two strips. And then plus your envelopes. So for this one, we're not going to adhere everything yet. We're going to do some stamping first. So for this one, you can go ahead and stamp and emboss your strip. We're using the dark sides of these two tones this time. And I just want to go ahead and do "'Tis the Season for Baking." And I'm going to get that all embossed up. I just need to get good ink coverage on mine. And I'm just stamping it to the left and kind of in the center, but center closer to the bottom. I ended up just going directly in the middle, but you do want to kind of, just kind of stay closer to this area. This is probably good just because of the layering that we're going to do. Now this sheet of paper, these strips are 5 inches by 2 inches, both the white and the blue. So in case you decide to replicate it, I'm going to heat emboss that. Now again, just try not to stay too much in one spot to avoid burning. Like as you're doing this, it turns brown and black almost. And it's like, ooh, I want to stop, but don't stop because unless you've been on it for too long, it will eventually fade away, but you don't want to be on it too long because it will burn, like it can burn. It's just whatever chemical is in the paper, it seems to do that. And now we're also going to do some stamping on these. I'm going to move these out of the way if everyone's okay with that. Now I recognize I'm only doing one, you're doing two, so I'll kind of go slow at the end. But once I have that done, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping in some red and the sprinkles. So we're just going to add a little bit of sprinkles. Again, if you're worried about the direction of those sprinkles, just make sure you know what you're sprinkling. I'm just doing a couple down at the bottom. I'm not doing a whole lot, just a little bit, just to give it, some little wow. I might go and add another one actually. I don't know. I think that looks cute. So that's good for there, but now I do want to do some stamping over here. So I'm going to take my strip, again, make sure your hands aren't inky from the red, but I am going to stamp some more in red, except I just want to line it up with my baking sheet because I just want to stamp around it. So I'll be stamping some sprinkles in the real red. I'm also going to stamp my sugar cookie rollout in crumb cake. So I'm going to grab that sugar cookie rollout first, and I'm just going to stamp it. There's no wrong or right way. Pick whichever part you want up the right direction and stamp. Now I find that my crumb cake, because I just inked it today, it's really dark, but it will seep into the paper and it will dry lighter as time goes on. And that's actually the only card we're using that. So once you're done with that, you can clean that and put that away. That's a fun one to put on the front of your envelopes too, if you want, and then actually do a cutout of a gingerbread man to pop up over top. That would be cute. Once I have that, now I'm just going to go in and around with my red. Again, I'm just estimating where all the pieces are going to be. We're going to be putting a piece of ribbon over the middle. So you're not going to see too much if you do something close to the red trim. But I'm just going to randomly put some in between. Try and be careful. Don't do what I did. I just ended up rocking too much and got a little bit of the overkill because there's a lot of excess rubber on here picking it up. So just watch that because it's easy to get too much ink on it. You can go over, under, whatever that looks like for your sprinkles. You also don't want to go overkill, but I always go overkill. So I'm just gonna let that dry a little bit. I find with the white willow paper, it does take a little bit longer to dry. Just try not to smudge it. And once you have that all done, you're going to start compiling it on your card front. I'm going to actually start with my white piece. No, actually, I'm going to start with my red piece first. Just putting a little bit of adhesive on it, and I am making sure there's a white mat all around it so it doesn't fit the whole side of the card, but it ends up looking like this. And same thing with the top, I'm going to copy it. Now the white piece might overlay on the piece below, and that's okay. The key is you just want to try and align it up so that the mat is the same and that it's lined up with the red sheet when you go to overlap, just so that it's not really sticking out. Like so. Oh no, I just did something wrong. Who mounted it? Don't mount it if you mounted it. I'm too far ahead? Good. Because you're supposed to mount those pieces to the red piece. And then the red piece to the rest of it. That's why this looked too white. So hopefully we didn't squish those down too hard and we can peel them off easy without bending the paper too bad. That's also a good reason not to put too much adhesive on your pieces that you're mounting in case you have oopses like that. But same thing, I'm still putting a mat around it. There's a little border. Still the same instructions that I gave. It's just, it's on top of the red paper, not the white paper. There we go. And so now that it's like this is where you're going to go in with your ribbon and you're going to just measure a little piece to go across the top and wrap around the back. I'll show you what I mean here. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive just right there and right here. To cover that. And that's going to go on before I mount this, because once I get the ribbon on, then I can go ahead and mount this as a card front. You can choose if you want to pop it up with dimensionals or if you want to just use adhesive. I'm going to pop this up. Why not? I love pop-ups. These are pretty light. For the most part, it doesn't cost any more if you were to mail it, unless you have some like hard embellishments that isn't letting it squish. But for the most part, these dimensionals will squish through the mail machine. Line it up like so. There. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my cookie sheet down. Again, you can choose just to use your seal, your Tombow glue, but I'm going to use dimensionals because why not? May as well make this extra puffy to give it a little bit of extra texture. And now I'm just going to line that up and put that like so. Once I got my cookie sheet in play, this is where I can go find all my little critters, my hats. Okay, I'm really going crazy. Did I not stamp a hat and a candy cane on there?
No, we didn't.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you need 2 hats and you need 2 candy canes. I did that last time too. So that you have them for each cookie sheet. because then I just use a glue dot for these. I'll just stick the little element that I've cut out. Pop. And then you just plop them on your cookie sheet. You're going to end up with 3. If you want to put more, you can put like 6 cookies on your sheet if you want. I just did 3. I didn't want the crowding. But who knows, maybe I'll change my mind. But I find that glue dots work the best, unless you want to pop up your cookies, because if you want to use dimensionals, you can. But otherwise, I find that glue dots are just the easiest way to get this plonked on your piece.
Well, it's 5-1 now, and it's in the 9th inning, so,
Oh my goodness.
well, they blew it out of the park last night, so I guess.
I can't believe how fast that game went, though. Didn't it just start at 6?
Yeah, it did.
Or maybe we're just, yeah, I guess it's 8:30 already. Oh my gosh, you guys. Half an hour to do the next 2 cards. Again, I'm in no rush, but I try and aim only like to be done by 9, but I guess I need to be more of a drill sergeant if I wanted to stick to that. And then for the inside, I did, now it's entirely up to you, but I also stamped some of those cookies because, let me move this up a little bit so you can see, just add some little sugar cookies, bottom corner. I stamped one of each of the different cookies side by side. And then I used some of the sprinkles to stamp in the opposite corner in red. And depending on what you want to do, I'm going to test it out. I only did the top corner, but that's because I used some of my other stamps to fill in the top. This one I won't. This one I'll just do this, but I'll show you in my previous one what I did. I used Make It Merry from that Keeping Tradition stamp set. So this is a stamp set we're using for bingo next month. I just like that term, Make It Merry, and then I added a little spaghetti, so a little spaghetti sprinkles. So if you have that stamp set or some other cute Christmas ones you might want to add, you can. I just kind of thought Make Merry was cute because you make cookies. But for this one, I'm just going to not put words and I'm just going to leave it like that on the inside. But again, you can decorate all you want because you're going to go back afterwards and do the envelopes anyways. And you'll have to let me know if you end up putting more cookies on your tray than just 3. And show us how it looks. Oh yeah, we are using it. It's beginning to taste like Christmas again. Forgot our last card uses it too. The last one's a little more intricate. I tell you, I don't remember the last time I made a card with so many little itty bitty pieces. Or not itty bitty, but there's so many pieces for me, for a Trisha card. But it's cute. You guys can let me know when you're good to go to the next card. Oh, we didn't use the little gems. So this card is the one that we're going to do little fillers. Wherever you see them. Sorry, I have an open pack that I was going to use before I use this strip. Find it though. I didn't really go very far, so I don't know where those, there they are. I guess I took them over to the side here. Now I'll just use my pokey tool or my little lifter tool from the pokey tool or my scissors to lift them. I'm going to just add a random assortment. You should have a little bit of all the sizes. And I'm just sticking them in amongst the sprinkles. We got little, middle size, large size, all of them. And so use as many as you want. But don't forget you got 2 cards. And you can barely see them. They like blend in with the rest of the sprinkles, but they're there. And they're still available. They actually feel really soft. They're kind of cool. But I think they go so well with this particular stamp set. In fact, I didn't put any on this one either. So I will go back and do that. Just remember as you're adding them, think of groups of 3. 1 or 3. Keep them kind of odd number. Plus, if you have little spots that you ended up over inking, this is a good way to cover those spots too. And then we'll get ready to do our next card. Now, I didn't do a demo of this card for you. But this next card is the one we're not going to be using embossing anymore, actually. Actually, I can't show you that one because I lost my greeting for it. Both card classes, I've lost a very important greeting for my card. So bizarre. But there is no more embossing after that second card. So once you have 'Tis the Season, you can put away that. We're not going to need that anymore. Everyone's so quiet. It's just like I'm sitting watching my daughter color with her friends. But this one's fun. This is my favorite fun fold. I'm going to try and do this. I want to try and do this week as a Halloween card with the spooky Halloween. I don't know why I've been so obsessed with it. I just have. I've made so many little Halloween projects, which is kind of out of the norm for me. And I have so many other ideas too. It's so bizarre. And I haven't even decorated for Halloween. I haven't even unpacked all my cute Halloween mugs. So it's kind of a weird week, a weird year. But at least it's on a Friday.
Mhm.
But here, I'll do a little demo of this card. Are you guys still finishing up the last card?
I just finished.
Oh, okay. I'll try install a little bit. Yeah. So here is a sneak peek at our next card. So there is some extra work we're going to have to do for this. You're going to find your little kit that has all of the crumb cake pieces. Oops, it's got all kinds of pieces in it. Oh, there's all my little die cuts. I knew I had already cut some out. Hey, let me put all those over here. Now for this card, you're going to need one of your oven mitts, your rolling pin, the light icing bag, and two of your gingerbread men. Okay. And so in this kit, you guys are going to have a couple of different cards. So this card only has a card base. The card itself is this front. Now, I've got two samples here for you because I ran out of crumb cake paper. So you're going to have one white base and one crumb cake base in your kit that are the same size. Well, this one isn't because I just have the crumb cake one because I made this one. But basically, you're going to have one big piece of cardstock and one just slightly smaller. So again, you'll have one big white, one big crumb cake, and then the next size white, next size crumb cake. So you're just going to alternate which card they go on. So I'm just going to build one card, and I recommend as we do this, you just do one card at a time, just until we kind of grasp the concept. But basically, you've got this and this, and we can actually go ahead and mount your smaller piece to the card base. This is all we're going to mount right now. Nothing else can get mounted until we kind of finish a few other steps. So this is our card base with the big and small pieces. Okay. So then you have a few other pieces. Once you have that set, we're gonna go and find this plaid and gold pattern paper. It's actually more of a cardstock. Does anyone recognize where this is from?
No.
So it's actually a card front
Oh.
from the Memories and More card kit. And it just happens to coordinate so cutely with it. And these card bases have matching envelopes too. But it's for the Memory and More size cards. But I just cut a card down, and out of one of those cards, like full cards, you can make 4 of these cards, like 4 of this size, which is super cute. But this is the one that we need to do a cutout on. So this was the one at the beginning I was kind of sharing. If you have textured note dies, this one works really good. But any die or punch that you have that's over 2 inches long, because this is 2.5, works best. But we can also just use our paper trimmer. Is there anyone here that's going to use a paper trimmer for this part? Because I can walk through and we can figure out how to do that. Does everyone feel like they have a die or a punch or something that will be more than 2 inches wide?
I'm just checking. This one's 2.5.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like 2.5 long?
Yeah, it's the shoot. Rectangle stitch dies.
Oh, how wide is it? Like how tall?
Uh, just over 1 inch.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll actually try and figure this out for everyone to do it without the die. This just works really good because you have a fun little window there. I'm gonna draw this out actually. Whoops. And then that way I can cut it and share the measurements that way. Okay, so if you don't have the textured note dies, that's where this is. It's the smallest rectangle from textured notes. I'm gonna pull out my paper trimmer. And my first cut is gonna be at one, 1.25 inch. But now don't forget, I have to like line it up to where my mark is. So I'll help you in another way. Let me cut this out first. Actually, no. Yes, I need to cut it out first. And again, it's just kind of an estimate. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just don't want it too wide. That's all. So if I just cut that up to be 1/2 inch, and then where it left, like I didn't move my blade, I'm just going to come down to where that other mark is, which happens to be at 3. Turn it around. I'm going to have to move my blade up though to where the end of that mark is and just move it 1/2 inch, and you'll be able to feel where it cuts and down. So I can give basically kind of, you're going to mark where center is and then just draw a rectangle around that center. And that rectangle is going to be basically 2 inches by 1/2 inch. You're just cutting a 2 inch by 1/2 inch piece out of here, but it really should be a little bit more because these I cut to 2, and the idea is we have to slide this through. So my cut is too small. So make sure that cut is 2.25 inch by the 1/2 inch. Now I'm gonna just use this to make sure I have the right size. Once it's cut out, then I can get a clear sense. I made that kind of crooked. You do want to make it straight. But yeah, 2.25 by 1.75 inch is what it cut out. So anything rectangle, you could use your X-Acto knife. If you've got a cutting mat and an X-Acto knife, that probably would work best. And then you could easily measure that, like draw your rectangle with your ruler and cut it out. So once you have those done with your 2 sheets, you're going to prep your leather rectangle squares. So I have my sample here in Pool Party, but this is your crumb cake. They should be 2 inches by 6 inches. And I pre-scored this at 2 inches and 2.5 inches. And you're going to put your tear and tape on the outside. So remember, you've got your crumb cake paper. It doesn't matter if it's the light side or the dark side. It's going to be your pull. Now, did I get a chance to show you my pull? I don't think I did. this is what it is that we're making. It's our little pull gift card holder. And so you can choose if you want to use it as a gift card or card holder or not. I just happen to do that with a gift card that works well with this set. But if you don't want to do a gift card, you can just do a pop-up of our cute little label that we made instead, so that it gives them just another Christmas wish. So it's entirely up to you. You can either put the saying on the top and leave this blank for your gift card or not. But that's the whole idea, is this piece is for the pull of our card. I realized I didn't finish putting my gingerbread man on there. But anyways, you're going to put your tear in tape on the middle part, which is going to end up being where we adhere that. And then you're going to flip it over and you're going to put a piece of tear and tape on the small side at the top. So I'm going to do it with this particular one. I'm going to go ahead and just put it right smack in the middle. You can put 2 strips if you want to make it extra secure. I probably should have. I just did one there. But this is going to be pulled on. This seems to be, I pulled on those quite a bit and they seem to be good. And then again, the very top of the opposite side. So we've got it on the bend on the one side and then at the top on the other side. And what we're doing with that is we're actually taking our piece and we're sliding it in. So what's going to happen is we're going to have to try and see, okay, how is this centered nicely on my card? This is where we're going to end up stamping or adhering the top of our card. And this bottom part is going to end up getting adhered here. And so that's how it's going to end up working out. But before we start doing any of that, we're going to stamp an ink on our smaller white piece of cardstock. So this one, I think this one is cut 2.5 by 3.5. Yours might be just a little bit longer, but it should nest on the inside of your crumb cake. Now, for whatever reason, these seem to be like a 1/4 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch bigger, so you might have to trim it down. The idea is that it does nest inside of here. Mine seem to be a little bit big. Hopefully it's just mine and not all of yours, but
I didn't seem to get that crumb cake. Those crumb cake pieces.
oh, sorry, don't forget it's the opposite, right? So you should have 1 white and 1 crumb cake of this size.
Oh, I have 2 of white of that size.
Okay, you have
Right?
2 of white of this size, but you don't have any crumb cake?
Nope.
Did it get
Yes,
stuck in a different envelope? I mean, we're
Mm,
done everything, but because I really made sure I had 12 in every pile before I lifted it, but not to say you don't have it. Okay. Well, maybe I'm making this one for you, Charlene.
no worries.
Let me see how big these are. Do you have any crumb cake paper there?
Oh yeah, I do.
These crumb cake pieces are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Because if you have the white, that's good. The white should be, and then everything is just like a 1/4 less.
So I need 2 of the crumb cake ones.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I kept that the same. I think it's just the bottom that switched. I thought maybe I did both, but no, that couldn't have been right. So yeah, you should have 2 of those. But before we like adhere them to that, we're gonna do some stamping with crumb cake and the sprinkles. And so I did it so that it's just kind of light. You're going to need to find some scrap paper to stamp off on. And again, I'm just stamping in crumb cake, but I'm stamping off once and then I'm stamping on. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a line of sprinkles that's kind of like all the way down. Not quite from the corner, if that makes sense, but I'm just doing a line like that. But then I'm also going to go up and kind of across like an X. I know this doesn't really make sense, but I'm just kind of doing an X like that. And in fact, I probably could do one more. I'm stamping off one. It's going to end up getting covered. If you accidentally do it full strength, that's okay. This one I did full strength, but this one I did not full strength, just so you can kind of see. It's just the scatter in and around the different pieces. So you're going to do that to both of those. And then once you have those stamped, you can go ahead and mount them to the back of that crumb cake piece. And then we're not gonna start adhering all the different pieces yet, but we are gonna adhere, or we're gonna start cutting out our words. Actually, no, let's not cut out our words yet. Once you get here, let me know, and then we're gonna move on to starting to stick all of this down. But these are the key pieces to this card in case anyone's wanting to catch those measurements. Okay. Do you think are we good to go, do you think, Charlene?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I want to make sure you're here because it's a little weird and complicated, this step. Or should I go grab a drink first?
No, it's up to you. I'm good to go.
Okay. So what I did, I don't know if you saw, is ended up tucking in this strip into that hole that we put in the center. I'm not adhering anything yet, but I'm just getting it all ready. And I'm bending it over so that I can see that piece of tear and tape. That piece of tear and tape is actually for layering this crumb cake piece that we just stamped the speckles on. So ideally what's going to happen is that is going to mount directly kind of to the top of that card, but I want to make sure that it's all lined up in such a way that I see how it's going to be matte centered on the card, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wanting to make sure that that's centered, that when I go to put this down, maybe it's better if we do it this way. I need this piece to be out. Oh, actually, I missed a step. Sorry, we haven't done anything. We haven't glued. Yay. We need to kind of do the little bottom pull tag to get it ready. There's two ways that we can do it. One, we can take one of our tag punches that we might have. If we have one of those, all you're going to do is put that long end in the base of your tag punch, push it right up to the end. Once you know it's at the end and it's within the guides, then you can just give it a nice punch, push it all the way down once, and it'll punch out that shape for you. Or if you don't have that particular punch, that's okay. You can use If you've got this punch that has the slots in it, you can use that. And all you're going to do is tuck this in and try and line that up and guesstimate the best you can. Better yet is just to estimate where center is and a little bit above the bottom and put a little pencil mark there, because then you know, have an idea of where center is, so that when you slide this in, you can look for that mark that you just made and then give this a punch. Now, failing that, if you have an X-Acto knife, you can use an X-Acto knife. You can use any other type of ribbon, thread, like threading punch. You can use a regular hole punch. So even just a regular hole punch would work, because the idea is we're just making a thread hole for our ribbon. And we'll thread the ribbon afterwards. I just wanted to get that in before just so that it was easy to take out and maneuver. But now we're going to put this back in. So now, and don't forget, you have 2 of them. I only have 1, so I'm going a little fast. I'll pause a little bit, but the idea is that gets tucked in. There's lots of room to maneuver, so we're good with that because of the die that we use to punch that in. But now I'm taking that card and I want to, actually, you know what? Maybe I just made it very difficult for myself. I think I made it difficult for myself. I didn't need to make it that difficult. I apologize to anyone that was at the in-person class today, because I just realized how to not make it difficult. Okay, so this part, I need the short end closest to me, and I'm peeling off that adhesive. But what I'm doing is I'm taking the piece that we stamped on and matted, and all I'm doing is gluing this to the back of this, but I'm trying to center this the best I can. So I'm centering that. So it's just that top piece. I've centered that and I've adhered it to the top of this so that it looks like this now. When I flip it over, I see the adhesive here. And so we'll let you guys get all up to that stage. Oh yeah, this is way simpler than what I was doing with them today. Oh, so then once we're at that stage, we're going to tuck it down, but you're going to try and like line this up so that this is centered. So that this is centered. Now, my piece ended up becoming a little crooked. So you just want to try and, I don't know, match that up so that this is centered. This isn't that crooked, because hopefully it was straight when you put this on here. I just did not. You're going to hold it down, try not to move it. And then you're going to peel off this. Except I'm moving it. Oh, I moved it. Okay, try and center it without gluing it down. But basically what you're doing now is I'm trying to center this, and I hope this makes sense, but I'm trying to center this, and then once I find where that sweet spot is, then that piece of adhesive is going to stick to here. Except I'm a little out. I need it a little more this way. Okay, maybe it like worked out to be the same, but I think I made one step easier. But I'm happy with that, where that is. It's centered. And now this part stuck to this part. So that's what happened. I ended up sticking that short end ended up sticking to the plaid base. That's the whole point, so that we could get that slider movement to happen. Okay. And then once you get that secured, you can go ahead and add dimensionals to each of the 4 corners. And that's going to allow us to raise it on the card base to be able to allow that easy movement. And so I'm going to go ahead and peel those off. Now, did that make sense? I know it was kind of hard for me to explain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then this is where you're going to go back, take your ribbon, just a piece of scrap ribbon. We're not making a very big piece. All I'm doing is threading that through. I just need a piece that's about 2 inches. We're going to trim it anyways. Pardon me, I guess it's more like 4 inches so that you can thread it through. Ends up being 2. And you're going to take your twine that I gave you. I probably gave you way too much twine. You can cut it in half or just use the piece. Use it from where you are, because all we're using this for is to tie a knot. I just didn't want it to be too flimsy for you, flimsy, whatever that word is I'm trying to say. So that's why you got a lot of this twine. But then you're going to have all kinds of pieces left over anyway, so hopefully you can make another card in this color combo. I'm tying that knot close to where that pull starts, is where I'm tying this knot. And it's just for like to secure it, but it's also super cute. And then I'm just going to give that a trim because I don't need all those pieces of linen thread. And then I'll trim my ribbon. But now that's the pull for my little waterfall gift card holder. When I pull on it, it opens. Now you just have to decide, do you think you're going to want this for a gift card holder or not? And that's just going to depend on where you end up placing this label. So for this label, I'm using, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and I'm stamping in crumb cake. And I'm just trying to center it the best I can, which wasn't very good. It could have been up a little more. Oh. And so again, just to show you, this particular one has it, instead of a gift card on the front part, I've just adhered the label here. That piece of polka dot paper, does anyone recognize that paper?
No.
This is
No.
from that same paper pack that we're going to use for Craft Club, which is called Christmas Tags and More. So it's actually, it was a strip that's on one of the pieces of paper. So I had to use it because it all coordinated and matched. Also, it's optional, but I ended up grabbing my real red marker just to color the hearts, just to add a little bit of color when I opened it. That's entirely up to you. You can also use some of those peppermint gems that you have if you have any left over, or any other red gems that you might have. So that one is having it here. And then here is where I put it up top, except I keep catching my label. My label should have been up a little bit higher, but you can decide where you want that. I'm always obsessed with gift cards, so we're just
It's
going
very
to,
cute, but
Mm.
I'm gonna go, Trisha. I will catch this later when I get my stamp set.
okay. Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
No problem.
bye.
Bye.
So I am going to grab my designer series paper and just mount that in the top. Again, I'm just kind of centering it, but I'm actually putting it more near the top because this part's all going to be covered by a gift card. So it's still centered. It's still as is. If I want, I could pop that up, but I'm not. I'm going to lay that flat again. And that's only because I'm going to have a gift card there and I know it's going to catch on it because it did with my sampler one. But basically, I'm going just above and just under the points. You're not seeing very much of that polka dot. In fact, you don't even need to put the polka dot if you'd rather use that for something else. But here it is. And then you can go ahead and mount your gift card. And then we're going to go ahead and cut our words. So we are going to take, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and we are trimming the words. So we're taking Christmas out. Christmas is what I'm cutting out of here. I'm cutting two things, Christmas and it's. So that is what we're using from those two stamped images in red is it's Christmas, and I'm just trimming that so that it's ready for me to put some dimensionals on. And we're going to add that to our card front here. And then Christmas, I'm going to nicely just kind of cut around all the letters because I think it looks fun when it's all weeded like this. And then, like I said, you're going to go ahead and just put dimensionals on the back of it. Like so. I'm going to use my little picker to pick this up and turn it over and find my dimensionals. I've got some mini dimensionals that I'm going to put down for this. Whoops. That one may have fallen off just a bit. And one in the center. Not too sure why I'm not using that pokey tool, but it's all good. So it's a few things we're doing. We're doing it's Christmas, and then we're going to add time. It's Christmas. I'm putting Christmas up here just a little bit. And then it's is just fun up above it like so. And then time. So this is the tricky part. Everyone's like, Trisha, I don't see time anywhere. Well, we have these lovely words from the kitchen. And guess what? They have all the letters that we're going to use to spell out the word time. So did you see what I just did there? I cut off some excess scrap white. You're going to take some white and put some adhesive on it, and you're going to be ready to adhere all the little letters. So this is fussy cutting day after all. You're going to cut out all the letters that are going to make the word time come to life. So I'm going to cut off the word the. And actually, sometimes this works better, and I'm going to do this, is I'm going to spell time backwards. Now I'm really going to mess with your head. We're starting with the letter E. And all I'm doing is just trimming off all that extra because all I want is that letter E. And I'm going to add it to my piece of paper that I've already put adhesive on, right? Now I'm looking for the M. The M is in from. So think of this as a little spelling test or search and find where you're looking all over for the letters to try and form words. Wonder what words you could find from all the leftovers. I'm going to use my little pokey tool to hold this time because there's a little too much white. Whoops. There's a little too much white on this side. I need to trim it down a bit. Except I don't want to trim the word, or I don't want to trim the M. Okay, this isn't working the way I wanted it to. And there we go. And now we're going to put the M up to the E. So I'm trying to do it so that it's close together. Because remember, the adhesive is already there. And that's to make it easier to stick these little tiny letters. And don't forget, you're doing this twice, right?
Mhm.
Now I need the I. This is like really hard on the eyes too, so hopefully hopefully it doesn't strain you or stress you too much because it is really itty bitty. It probably wouldn't bother you so much if you're someone who likes doing all those little micro projects. Just watch if you're using your pokey tool that you don't poke yourself in the eye though, because one of the ends might be the pokey tool end. Just saying. I may or may not have had a close incident. Also, don't worry about trimming them completely because you can always trim them once you get them all on that little sheet, your little scrap. But this is just another way to get words that maybe the stamp set didn't have. I just thought this was just a little extra word to have with the baking set that's not baking, but it's still Christmas. Because that Christmas font is so cute. And then I am just trimming off all the excess that I have on there. And I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals. Now, I only did one word, and that was a lot. I actually do feel a little stressed. Oh, except watch that you don't end up sticking on something because I've just lost the second one. How? All I did was lift my arm up and move my scissors. There they are. The card I made earlier this morning, I had just finished it and I went to go try and find it again and it was gone. I swore I had put it on. I had put it on my card, but no, nowhere to be found. But I can already think, I already know who I'm going to give one of these cards to for Christmas. Hopefully you guys have some ideas. Because even better if you can get it all addressed and put it in an envelope. But the trick is going to be knowing where you put it when it comes time to give it. You have any suggestions on ways to remember that, please share them in the comments. And then time, it's just going to go somewhere random underneath there like this. But because you put it on that scrap piece of paper already, it's just easier to maneuver and add it. And then you're going to go ahead and start adding the other pieces to the card. But the trick is you do need to make sure everything kind of stays below the crumb cake piece. And that's just because otherwise it gets in the way of when you go to open it. But we are gonna put mitt on there. I'm just gathering them right now. You're gonna put a rolling pin and we're gonna have an icing and you're also gonna need a gingerbread man. And so what I'm gonna do first is put my mitt on, but I'm only putting one little strip of adhesive in the center because I want to be able to still tuck some things underneath it, such as this rolling pin. Again, I'm just making sure nothing's going over top of that. And I just have to tuck my rolling pin down a little bit more. And then my icing bag will just kind of tuck in there too. You can, depends if you want the rolling pin to show, this to show sideways. I kind of just like it messy a little bit like that. If you want to puff up your gingerbread man, you can. In my samples, I didn't, but for this one, I'm going to. He just needs a single dimensional on the back, and then he's just going to pop up kind of like to the side like this. It's just a little tuck of all the cute little pieces. And then if you want to add a gingerbread man on the inside as well, I actually find, I think I mentioned this already, that the glue dots work great to peel and stick. I'm just gonna add him up here. Again, if you want to pull out a red marker, color his cute little hearts. I probably should have done that before I put them on. That's an idea. The only thing is our newer markers, they're thicker tips. They're not like the previous ones. If you have old markers, that's good because they're extra fine. I'm just gonna really dot it. All I'm doing is giving it a little dot, dot, dot so that it can like bleed into the heart space. So I'm not coloring it all, I'm just dotting it, if that made sense. It was just a few dot, dot, dots. There is still some white space, and that's okay because I'd rather more white than bleeding because it just looks like there's white icing around it. But I just thought that that would be cute for Christmas. And now I have room to add a Bulk Barn gift card. I just think that looks so good. Something got to force it and see, but this one, this is how I learned. I had my rolling pin sticking up and it's getting in the way of everything. It's cute, but now this doesn't get in the way. I can just easily pull and it's so cute. Now, of course, you can also just put your to and from up here, down here, just handwrite it, or you can write a nice message on the back and tuck it in an envelope because it should still stick. The only thing is your little pull tab, you might want to tuck underneath to make it easier so it doesn't get in the way of putting it into your envelope. But otherwise, I hope you like that cute little fun fold.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Now, I think that covers it. I'm going to stop the recording right here. We made all 3 cards. If you do have questions, though, please put them in the comments or text me. We'll try and get them answered for you. But that wraps up our Stamp-A-Stack number 2, or number 1. I keep saying number 2. I wrote that down even. This is our first one. Number 2 is going to be the weekend of November 22nd, 23rd. It's also the same night as bingo. So keep that in mind if you're going to do virtual or in person. We're going to try and do the virtual in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. Although that doesn't make sense because people like the afternoon so they can drive in the daylight. So I'll have to think through the times, but that's the weekend I'm planning them for. But don't forget, bingo is also the Saturday night. So it's over the Sunday and the Saturday. I might do both on the Sunday. Haven't quite confirmed, but it'll either be Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. It all depends if I have to help Kira on the Sunday. And then we're going to have number 3. We're also going to do a third one, like always. It's going to be a little closer together and it will be with a different color combination. I'm kind of waiting to see what new online exclusives come out in November and what we might have available for pre-order for the January catalog. So stay tuned for some of that. Thank you again for joining our Stamp-A-Stack, and I'm ending the recording here.